What's up, guys? Matt Brown here, 4lineups.com, and it is finally here. Yes, the 2025 NFL season is upon us. We are getting going on Thursday night with a game between the Cowboys and the Eagles. I am pumped. You are pumped. Everybody is pumped. We've been starved of football, and we are ready for it to be back in our lives in earnest. Guys, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. We'll be talking NFL all season long. Survivor, games out there that we like, games out there that we hate. We will be doing everything here on the channel, so appreciate your support. And of course, as always, let us know in the comment section how you plan on playing these games. Here's an article by Eli. Eli and I will be doing the big preview podcast here on the channel as well. You can see what he thinks of all of this. 365 has this thing at 8 right now in favor of the Eagles at home. Just to kind of give you an idea, shopping around here is MGM. They are out to 8.5 in favor of the Eagles, 47.5 the total there. And then over here at DraftKings, out to 8.5, 47.5 the total there as well. Just a ton of money pouring in here on this Eagles team. This thing started out 6.5. This is, we won't have to do this after week one. So these lines have been out for months, right? And so these lines have been beat up and torn down, and any value that might have been there for some of these lines, I think, have been stripped at the deal. I have a 6.5 in my account from way earlier. There was a lot that played into that. The Parsons thing, just the holdout in general, a lot of the concerns around the Cowboys as well, just for me, with no run game and all of that played into the handicap for me. And then also, I will talk about this a little bit later in the week whenever we kind of run through who we like and who we don't like here on the channel. But, I have the Cowboys as number one team heading into the season. It's very, very hard to poke a hole in this. I should say Eagles. I have the Eagles as the number one team in the NFL. And it's very, very hard to poke a hole in this Eagles team. If you go and you look, a very, very solid offensive line that is backed up by solid quarterback play, arguably the best running back in the NFL. Dallas Goedert is still a productive tight end. You have A.J. Brown. You have Devontae Smith. I mean, this is just anything you could want on the offensive side of the ball. And then you head on the defensive side. How about an unbelievably awesome defensive line? I mean, a defensive line that other teams would kill for, maybe everybody outside of the New York Giants or something like that. And then you've got Adoree Jackson, Cooper DeJean, and you've got Quinyon Mitchell at the corner positions. The safeties are very good. They drafted Jihad Campbell at the linebacker position. I mean, like, Zach Baum was the best linebacker according to Pro Football Focus in all the NFL last year. So it is just very, very hard to get to a point where you don't like something really about this Eagles team. I mean, you might not think that Jalen Hurts is like the greatest thing in the world, but I mean, he is a top producing quarterback in the NFL. So that's why I put the 6.5, tucked the 6.5 in the account. That said, 6.5 and 8.5 are two completely different animals. And we'll go through that one here for sure. The other thing about the Cowboys side of things, I mean, listen, we're assuming Dak is going to look like Dak coming off of another major injury for him. I do believe that. That said, we've not seen that with our own eyes. We assume that the pass game is going to be better because they traded for George Pickens. But again, we've seen Pickens be incredibly hit and miss here since he's been in the league. I think he should do fine. But again, we haven't seen this with our eyes yet. And so these are all things, I think, the questions that cloud over this Cowboys team and the run game as well. We're talking a run game that nobody in the backfield that you're going to like. Maybe Jaden Blue at some point, one of their draft picks, maybe at some point gets the nod. But I mean, we're starting this season with Javonte Williams. It's going to be your starting running back behind an offensive line that nobody has rated very well, about middling, if not a little bit below middling. So there's a few warts, I think, on the Cowboys side of things, and then certainly on the defensive end, it is not near as good now. Micah Parsons is gone, and it is just kind of a bunch of dudes right now for this team. I mean, Deron Bland is certainly very good at the corner position, but outside of that, it's just dudes. It's just dudes. And so I was very confident in the 6.5. Now we've moved through the touchdown, and now we've moved through the 7 and a hook, and now we've moved to 8 and a hook. And I know the Eagles side of a teaser will be very popular this week. I don't have any problem with that. If you want to play that angle, I do think, however, that at 8.5, I would probably be coming back the other way on Dallas. I am going to buy into the fact that Dak can still play. Dak can prove me wrong on Thursday night. I'm going to buy into the fact that Pickens makes this offense a little bit more dynamic and might free up some stuff for CeeDee Lamb, and we see some really good stuff out of him. Pickens can prove me wrong as well. And I'm going to buy into the fact that maybe this offensive line does have a couple of good pieces. So maybe those good pieces can kind of gel the other spots on this offensive line that aren't that great. Now, the run game, there's nothing I can get to there. I think this run game is going to struggle mightily. And with that, kind of brings us to another one of the bets that we're looking for. Of course, this is the rest of Eli's article here. You can get his thoughts on how he thinks that this game is going to break out. But, for me, come over here to MGM, you click on the little players tab, and then we'll start to see what we're going to get out of these guys here. Click on the passing yards, and holy mackerel, the juice has run very, very far here on this. So we're not going to play 245 at minus 155. There's just no way we can do that. Let's see what we got going on over here at DraftKings. So this is one of the things we definitely have to look at here whenever we're comparing books. So I would easily, especially when we're talking about passing yards, I will play 3 extra yards at 248.5. See, this is 245.5, but it's minus 155 as opposed to the 248 at 112. I will gladly take 3 extra yards on and not have to pay a 155 juice. So again, we'd look for something like this. As always, shop around. Maybe you'll find a better number at one of the other books as well. But kind of certainly a little less in there as well. Like the lower number does not always mean, if you're playing an over, the lower number doesn't always mean the better number, especially when you're seeing a ton of juice attached to it like that. So for me, I really like Dak over on his passing yards in this game. And the reason is I kind of like these two-way bets when it comes to props. And I don't believe in this run game whatsoever, right? I think they're going to have to throw early often to try to move the ball against this Eagles team that I do believe, without Micah Parsons on the defensive side, I think this Eagles team is able to do it, to be able to move the ball up and down the field here on this Cowboys team. So I don't think it's going to be where we're looking at this Cowboys team just beat it into the line for 2 yards over and over and over again. I think you take advantage of the fact that you went and got Pickens, you've got Lamb, you've got Turpin as a third wide receiver. Like, I mean, you've got some options here. Even Jake Ferguson at tight end. You got some nice options through the air. And I think also the reason I like this is because it can be a game state play as well. We're still talking about 8.5-point dogs here. And while I think that 8.5 might have gotten a little bit too out of line and would lean more towards the Cowboys side of things now that we've gotten out to 8.5, they could be playing from a very negative game state. I mean, the spread is 8.5. And then you have to completely abandon the run and you're throwing just over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so I kind of like the two-way bets when it comes to props, especially from an over standpoint. And so I think this is one of those kind of two-way handicaps in which don't have a run game, probably going to have to try to keep up with the Eagles, who I think are going to score whenever they kind of want to on this defense that the Cowboys have. And then also, not only are you doing that, but also you could be playing from a very negative game state. You're 8.5-point dogs. So you might completely abandon the run here in this game. So really like Dak Prescott over 248 pass yards at 112. Again, shop around if you can find a 247 at 110, 112 or something like that. But don't play 45 at minus 150, 155. Like, that's not worth it. Take on the 2 or 3 extra yards at much, much, much reduced juice. And that's how we'll play that one. I have a ton of futures on the Eagles. I am pretty high on this Eagles squad to have a very good and successful season here. I got division tickets on them, have NFC tickets on them, and have a little bit of a position with them on the Super Bowl, but not huge. Short enough price that I didn't feel like I needed to play it right out of the gate. I think I can get a similar number at some point in season, especially if they struggle. I might even get a better number with that. But guys, go in, check out what we've got going on over here with the with all of the articles, not just this from Eli, but we got several articles, touchdown articles and things like that going on with, you can see right here, we got some touchdown thoughts here from Alex on who to maybe play here in this one. He likes a little long shot stuff right here with Will Shipley at 5-1. So maybe you want to sprinkle that into your account as well. But these are all over at the site at lineups.com. So go in, take in those great articles. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel now. We will not always be betting into stale lines. We will not always be betting into lines that have been out for 2 months. We're going to have some really, really good plays here on the channel. Again, at 8.5, lean towards the Cowboys. I have the 6.5 on the Eagles on the other side here. I think maybe this thing moved too far. If you do want to do an Eagles teaser leg, I have no problem with that whatsoever. Taking them down to 2.5, something like that, pairing them up with somebody else that you like this week, I think is a very viable option here. And I really do like the Dak over on the passing yards. If you haven't done so, please click that subscribe button. Let us know how you are going to play this game in the comment section. Good luck on all your Eagles and Cowboys bets.